it seem to you that the accounting profession or your accounting career is on unstable, unsteady ground? What you've got to understand that instability in a firm, in a job, doesn't necessarily mean instability in your career. Even in the middle of all of this turbulence, accounting remains a great profession. It is relevant, it's not going away. You might question if you're at the beginning here, should I go into a career in accounting? What entry-level roles are available for me? Firms are always looking for good talent. Expand your network, internally and externally. Build relationships across service lines, across offices, across departments. Look at the people who are known to survive disruption and get alongside them. That's the message to take home. Does it seem to you that the accounting profession or your accounting career is on unstable, unsteady ground? The truth about private equity takeovers, mergers, consolidation, shifting partner models, AI, it's all disrupting the foundation that we've sat on. I'm going to talk about this in the Accounting Voices podcast. I'm your host, Rob Brown, going out every week live on a Monday, giving you the narratives you need to stay informed, to stay relevant, to stay visible, and to stay secure in this crazy world. Still in the middle of a series called Accounting Reflections 2025. I'm interviewing 50 leaders, key voices, practitioners, experts, coaches, consultants, trainers, experts in the accounting space, and asking them what has defined 2025 and what might be coming up for 2026. You can find all of these on our LinkedIn Accounting Voices company page. They're just 5-10 minute videos. I'm asking all of these people the same 5 questions. And the key things are coming out here of uncertainty, of private equity changing the game, AI changing the game. And if you feel like your firm, your career has become unpredictable, you're not imagining it. The ground is moving under your feet. People who spend years feeling stable and secure, and that has been the accounting profession over the years, suddenly are gradually becoming unsettled. Certain partners are leaving, key people are leaving, new leaders appear from nowhere, titles change, job specifications change, policies change, strategies change, regulations change. Nobody properly explains why, so you feel like you're in reactive mode all the time. Right now, the accounting profession feels like someone picked up the entire industry and shook it hard and said, good luck. PE is buying firms, national groups, associations, networks who collate these firms. They're buying up and rolling up mid-tier firms. Regional firms are merging into larger firms. They're smashing brands and cultures together. Advisory practices are being carved out. Startup niche boutique firms are coming into play. Tax teams are being shifted. Audits being scrutinized and restructured. Firms everywhere are rewriting business models in real time. And you throw AI into that, and goodness me, you've got a cauldron of disruption. And this is the biggest transformation the accounting profession has seen in many, many years. If you feel anxious, confused, suspicious, you're reacting exactly as a smart professional should react when the landscape is being rewritten, because you don't want to be reactive, you want to be proactive. So today I want to cut through the noise for you and explain why firms and accounting careers feel unstable and why everything seems to be happening all at once. And it's not about panic. It's about clarity. Clarity gives you power. It gives you some authority. It gives you some autonomy. It gives you a level of flexibility and control. Clarity keeps you relevant, keeps you visible, keeps you secure in a profession that is changing fast. Here on Accounting Voices, I'm always shining a light on the good things that are happening in accounting, but also telling you what's changing and shifting so you can stay in the game. So why are things feeling unstable with firms, with careers, with the whole profession? Well, the ownership is changing. This is the big one. Private equity has come into the accounting profession in a big way, like a juggernaut. Why? Because it sees what many people have not seen: predictable revenue, sticky client relationships, low churn, high margin potential, scalable advisory services. Firms have strong client portfolios and weak systems, weak processes. This is ripe for private equity to come in. These are perfect private equity targets. This is what they're looking for. So consolidation is accelerating. Mid-tier firms, regional firms can't keep up with the talent shortages, so that's in play. Technology upgrades, regulatory pressure, the rising cost of doing business. So they merge, they pool resources, they join national groups, they get absorbed into bigger platforms. And these moves may be strategic, but for you as staff, they feel chaotic. Even if you're in the business world, if you're an accountant in industry, in a business, not in private or public practice, you're in mergers and acquisitions, consolidation. Things are changing all the time. Partner models are shifting. Senior partners want liquidity. They want to get out. We know that a lot of people are at or close to retirement age in the accounting world, particularly in the US and a little bit too in the UK. They see retirement on the horizon. They want some certainty. They want an exit. But the younger partners, they see a different landscape with new expectations, external investment, perhaps leadership structures are shifting. Firms are taking on new identities. It's an absolute mess. In England, we call it a dog's dinner. What are you going to do about all of this? I want you to know that this stuff's not going away. Private equity has been predicted by many of the experts I speak to as getting bigger. More mergers, more acquisitions, more consolidations next year. Artificial intelligence is not going away. Let's throw into this client expectations. They are rising fast. Clients want more advisory insight. They are more strategic in their thinking, and they want that from you. They want faster response times. They want things done in real time. They want a better digital experience. They are very aware that technology is making things cheaper. They know automation is changing the game, and firms that cannot deliver, that are not pivoting quickly, that are not being proactive, they are vulnerable to clients saying, well, I'm going to go elsewhere. You're getting sudden reorganizations, changing business models, new people in teams, new skills, new personnel being brought in, putting different firms together and expecting them to all work off the same playbook. It's problematic. So we've got all of these things going on. Let's add technology in there. That's rewriting workflows. AI is moving into audit sampling and tax research and risk detection and compliance tasks. Offshoring as well. That's changing staffing structures. It's changing resourcing models. Automation is removing entry-level work. We talked about that in previous episodes. All of this is reshaping the structure, the strategy of accounting firms, accounting professionals, and it's starting to feel personal, isn't it? You're starting to feel the heat. You're starting to think, is this the right place for me? Is this the right career for me? How do I stay in the game? How do I stay ahead of this? Instability inside any job, inside any relationship feels personal because your environment, it shapes your confidence. It shapes your outlook. When leadership changes direction without warning you, or somebody comes in, some entity changes direction without warning you, your sense of stability, your foundation, your rock, it drops. Colleagues leave, you wonder what they know, you wonder where they've gone. New people arrive with new language, new job titles, new priorities. You're wondering where you fit in. You hear of a merger and you don't know how it's going to affect you, your role, your job, your team, your responsibilities, your client relationships, your stakeholders. All of these reactions are normal. It's rational. It's not just in accounting too. There's so much instability in corporate life, in knowledge work generally. The game is changing so fast. And all of this change is showing you that it is normal, it is rational. They're showing you that you understand the connection between environment, between these external disruptors and opportunity. Change always feels louder from the inside of a firm because you're there on the front line. So I'm going to give you some practical things, as we always do on this show, to help you cope. And what you've got to understand that instability in a firm, in a job, doesn't necessarily mean instability in your career. You still have some element of control. The profession is changing, yes, but the demand for smart accounting, finance talent, business analysis has never been higher. Firms, businesses might get restructured, but talent with relevance, with visibility, with authority, with influence, with advisory skills, consultative skills, soft skills, you're always going to land strong. You're always going to stay in the game. You're always going to be employable. That's the message to take home. Talent that has game, that has career capital, is always going to have options. The danger is not necessarily the speed of change. The danger is standing still while the change happens around you in the firm, the profession, the vision. It moves forward and you stay still. You cannot afford to be complacent here. So what can you do now? 5 things I'm giving you, and then a message of hope at the end. As always with the show, we try and equip you to get ahead of all the disruptive forces. And while this is a changing time, it's also a time of great opportunities and open doors and getting ahead. So number 1, build your visibility, build your personal brand. Build that external and internal visibility so that people know who you are, what you do, what you're good at. And that might mean going on, I won't say social media, but certainly LinkedIn is a platform. Just get into that cadence of sharing your journey or sharing your expertise or commentating on things. It doesn't matter if you get 1 million likes or no likes. It's what it makes of you by putting stuff out there and starting to articulate things and showing that you've got expertise and courage in these areas. So in times of change, people watch the calm voices. So be someone that partners and managers trust inside the firm for clarity, for consistency, for insights, and somebody externally that is a beacon in dark times, a beacon of light, somebody that speaks some sense. Number 2 is strengthen your advisory skills. Accounting has historically looked backwards, hasn't it? We know that. And those compliance-based tasks of reporting on what has happened are no longer, I'm not saying they're not relevant, and I'm not saying they're not going to earn you money, but it's not where the opportunities lie for you. So the future belongs to those who can interpret the data, communicate uncertainty, guide decisions, weave a narrative around how firms, individuals, clients should be responding to what is going on so they can future-proof. That's the advisory skill set. So number one, build visibility. Number two, build advisory skills. Number three, expand your network, internally and externally. First, internally, build relationships across service lines, across offices, across departments, across leadership layers. Look at the org chart. Look at the people who are known to survive disruption and get alongside them. Look at the movers and shakers, the loud voices, the people that are laying out the direction of travel, the people that seem to be getting ahead of it. Align yourself with them. So build that internal network, and then your external network. Reach out to people in the accounting world, in the tech world, in aligned industries, in any niches or sectors that you're working in. This is a good time to have conversations. It's easy to send a message and saying, hey, it's been a crazy year. Do you fancy catching up for a coffee or a chat to talk about your plans for next year? I'd love to know what you're up to. Format like that, you can chat GPT 100 different ways of putting that in your language, but start conversations, because conversations open doors and they strengthen and start relationships. So expand your network. Number four, read the tea leaves, read the signals that are coming out from your leadership and your firm. Look at the internal memos, the intranet, the news, and what's happening on your LinkedIn company page. Watch the hiring choices. Watch the senior departures. Pick up the narratives coming out from the boardroom. Watch the technology investments. Watch where the money's going, where the attention's going. These signals all tell you what's coming, even if it's not communicated overtly. So you've got to read the signs. Look at the crystal ball if you like, but you should be getting messages and prompts about the direction of travel. That's number four, read the signals. And number five is build external relevance. So here I'm talking about not just connecting with your network and the wider peers in the wider profession, but speak online, grow your visibility, write online, put things in writing. You don't need to be an influencer, but if your firm changes direction, your business, you don't want to get trapped in there, and you don't want to be invisible, because that is irrelevance. It leads to unemployment. It leads to a lack of options. So get used to becoming an authority. The word author is the root for authority. So anything you put in writing, if you want to go on camera, great. If you want to comment on things, great. But there is a place out there for the people that are willing to be a little bit more courageous and talk about a million things. You can chat GPT, what could I talk about on LinkedIn, and start to get conversations going there. I know you're already on with AI in one form or another. We're all dabbling with it now. So make it work for you and your career. So a final message of hope before we finish here on the Accounting Voices podcast. Even in the middle of all of this turbulence, accounting remains a great profession. It is relevant. It's not going away. You might question, if you're at the beginning here, should I go into a career in accounting? What entry-level roles are available for me? Firms are always looking for good talent and good people, but you've got to round out your skill set that's beyond the technical. Accounting's really respected. It's global. It's full of opportunity, and there's so many directions you can go with accounting and finance qualifications. The issue is not the accounting profession. It's the speed of transition. It's the way firms are dealing with it. Some firms are getting left behind. If you stay informed, stay intentional, stay visible, you will thrive no matter how your firm, your business, your employer evolves. And you should always, hopefully, have an opening. So I want to build this as a little series here, but it's the kind of things we talk about on surviving and succeeding in this new era of accounting firms. In the next episode, I do want to point you to what we'll be covering on the early warning signs inside your firm, inside your setup. I'm going to give you some red flags, some signals about what to look for, and it may get you ahead of the game. And in part three, if we call it a 3-part series, I want to talk about how to stay safe and relevant and valued when everything is being rebuilt around you, brick by brick. This is Accounting Voices. I'm Rob Brown. Join the Accounting Voices newsletter on LinkedIn and subscribe on YouTube, because our show is very big on there. We have some great conversations and comments on all of these episodes. Thousands of professionals discuss these issues every week, and your future is shaped by your choices, not by your firm. We'll see you next time.